What weight should we start out with? Kettlebells are not like barbells and dumbbells where you add 5 pounds every week and you ultimately get up to where you're after a year you're continuing to increase the weight. There's a point with a kettlebell where you don't need to or even want to go any heavier unless you're doing something else with the kettlebell, like kettlebell competition or trying to do some strongman events or something like that. So that being said, I recommend that when men start with a 35-pound kettlebell or 16 kilogram. Women start with an 8 kilogram or a 16 to or 18 to 20 pound kettlebell. The only reason that's important is that I don't want anybody to start out too heavy, because then you develop really bad habits that'll make you very frustrated with kettlebell training, if not just totally at the point where you want to eliminate it from your training. When you start the kettlebell swing, you want to line the bell up with your heels as opposed to reaching forward and grabbing it here. This would be incorrect, to pick the weight up like that. Could you get away with it? You could get away with it, but there's a point of diminishing returns. I mean, eventually that's gonna get your back as the weight gets a little bit heavier. So we want to learn early how to pick the kettlebell up correctly. Think about your heels, and you have to reach back. When I have to reach back for the bell, notice how I'm loading my glutes before I even start the exercise. So you start here, and then you give it a little bit of a pre-swing for the first rep, and then it's all about folding from the hips, and the hips come all the way forward. Exhale up at the top. Now, where does the kettlebell need to go as far as the height goes? Absolutely insignificant. Let the weight go wherever it's going to go. Most people, and I'll show you with a lighter bell, when they start with the swing and they get that part down, then they start thinking A to B with where the kettlebell goes. They start thinking, okay, I need to lift it all the way up to the top, and then the shoulders get involved and the arms. That's not what we want. That's something that happens because of incorrect perspective of what the kettlebell swing is. The swing is all about getting your hips to thrust forward. It's not about taking the weight from point A and then getting it to point B. So what we want to readdress on that is I'm grabbing the bell with my hands. My arms are involved in this. Shoulders are involved. But they're all just going along for the ride. My hips are the prime mover here, so I'm loading the hips, and then I'm just thinking about my upper body just kind of being there, connecting me to the resistance so that I'm relaxed in my upper body. And when it comes back, I'm letting it go all the way back between my legs. And you notice also, we want to keep your head in a neutral position as opposed to either thrusting it up or forcing it down.